This Albion Online video is all about doing solo dungeon maps in a Tier 5 yellow zone. I'm using a Tier 5 flat, Tier 5 solo dungeon map. These things cost about 5,000 to 6,000 each currently on West. And the annoying thing about dungeon maps is that you have to run across a zone to get to the enchanted dungeon. And I'm like, well, you know, we already know that solo dungeons, especially in yellow zones, even red zones, even black zones, are terrible. Yes, you have a potential chance to get a big payout jackpot. It's very rare, and it does happen, you know, but it's not guaranteed. But, you know, people on Reddit are like, oh, look at this cool item I got for 600k. Dungeons are so good. No, they're not. Dungeons are a terrible thing for your time to trade for. So, now I'm doing this without premium, so I do get less loot and less fame, but I am also using, you know, maximum spec with auto respec on and an 8.4 satchel. So it kind of makes up for a little bit of that, but still, it doesn't matter if you had auto respec on or off. There's better fame farms in the game. You can simply just go to the open world. Just Tier 5 open world mobs will give you way more fame. It's 6 times the fame that's shown on this video. And I'm using a speedrunning set to clear these dungeons. I'm using all 8.4, well, I guess except my helmet's 8.3, who cares? But I'm using light crossbow with a masterpiece 8.4 crypt candle. That is the highest damage boosting offhand in the game. And the reason I'm using the light crossbow is because I can nuke bosses insanely fast. I'm using a Spectre jacket, which is a fire AoE attack that instantly melts mobs. So I just run by the mob and shoot one Q spell at them and they die instantly. It is the fastest way to clear a solo dungeon in Tier 5 in the entire game. There is no faster builds. And then Spectre Hood to reset the armor cooldown and Royal Boots so that I can run consistently and get a damage boost that will be a damage steroid for the Spectre jacket. You can search my channel for, you know, like solo dungeon builds if you want, but this one is arguably the fastest way to clear solo dungeons in the whole game for Tier 5 zones. But anyway, so we're running map to map, you know, when we pop the maps, and, you know, we got red buff here so we can clear actually pretty quick. Sadly, like, you know, it's really random depending on what kind of chest quality you get in shrines and stuff. And you'll notice that I didn't grab the shrine in the right corner in that previous room, and that's simply because I had the red buff still like halfway, you know, and it's worth keeping the red buff than gambling for an extension on the red buff. Anyway, solo dungeons suck for fame, do open world mobs, and if you need silver, solo dungeons also suck for silver. You should just gather instead. And some people tell me that they don't have gathering spec. Well, how are you expecting to get gathering spec if you don't gather, bro? If you want Tier 8 gathering, you got to get started somewhere. We all started at the bottom. And a lot of people also ask me, well, how do I level up gathering? What's the fastest way to level gathering? And the answer is, if you just stay in the Tier 4 blue zones, okay, assuming you're a solo player with no guild, no hideout, no people to protect you, and you're not card swiping whenever you die, a lot of people do, then you stay in the Tier 4 blue zone, and you'll earn more gathering fame per hour than in a Tier 5 yellow zone. Now, with the new patch coming up, they did make it where if you go to black zones and gather, you get way more fame. It's like 150% more fame gain. So the risk might be worth it just to level up your gathering faster. But I haven't gotten to do any testing on that other than looking at the latest announcement trailer, which they were foolish enough to show how much fame gathering gave in a black zone, and I was able to jump on the test server and look how much fame it currently gives, and it was like 3 times as much on that video. So it's pretty nuts, and in that video they didn't have premium, so that's even crazier. So yeah, it's going to be pretty juicy for people that still need to level up their gathering. I have Tier 8 gathering and everything, so I have no reason to go to the black zone. We already know that the silver per hour in the black zone sucks. I have done multiple tests while in a guild, with a hideout, with, you know, all of the protections that a guild has, like the territory defenses and stuff, and guildies in Discord, you know, cycling around the zone, patrolling around, killing outsiders. And the silver per hour was still worse than a blue zone in gathering, I swear. Yeah, you could get lucky and get like an 8.3 or something, but radar hackers and guilds, they have that stuff on lockdown. As soon as that 8.3 spawns, they know where it's at. They go get it. It's never there for you to take, right? But anyway, this isn't a video about gathering, really. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be about doing solo dungeons. And, yeah, so solo dungeons, the fame is terrible. I already said that. And you could be like, well, they're fun, they're cool. Look, man, a while back, like a few patches ago, I don't know exactly when, it was sometime this year, they updated the dungeon layouts. And a lot of people were like, yay, they're paying attention to solo dungeons. What they did with these layouts is it was actually a shadow nerf to the chest variety. So you get more green and blue chests and less purple chests. And the new layouts make you take longer per floor to clear, meaning that it is an overall nerf to your silver and fame per hour. And a lot of people don't realize how good solo dungeons were. Back in 2019, these got nerfed in 2020, by the way, but in 2019, doing what I'm showing you on the screen right now with just 8.3, you would make about 2 to 2.5 million silver per hour, and it was really good fame. People weren't soloing statics back then because there wasn't 8.4, and Shadow Caller didn't exist, and Roast Pork didn't even exist. There was no lifesteal whatsoever in the game. And so the only people that could solo like group dungeons were one-handed dagger users, and it was so incredibly slow and painful, it was not a better fame per hour. It was good loot, but it was not better fame per hour. So, just a little history lesson for you. And every time I pop these damn maps, it has me travel all the way across the map I'm on, into a new zone. There is one spot in the game where this doesn't happen. Now, I'm doing this test for a few reasons, and one reason is that I want to just, get a nice little estimate of the current silver per hour and the fame per hour, and then we're going to see if it gets buffed, changed, or altered when the new patch comes out. And a lot of people are also asking me, when's the new patch coming out? My best guess is when this video gets published, 17 to 47 days. It's probably after the current guild season, but before the next guild season. So that's my best estimate. I don't know. I don't have insider knowledge with SBI. I'm not on the round table. I don't get to have access to any of that stuff whatsoever. So, yeah, your guess is honestly just as good as mine, but a lot of times they release major updates in November. I don't know what's going on in November in Germany, but that's usually when they do it. And also we got a tome chest there. Boo on the tome chests. So that sucks, but you can see we're nearing 30 minutes now on these dungeon runs, and I'm going to share the results on the screen, though I'm not going to slow down the video. So if you really need to see the info, you can. It's YouTube. You can click back on the little progress bar at the bottom of your screen, whatever. But yeah, that's the video, guys. And here's the loot. Here's me typing how much. So 164k silver. That's like 328k an hour. No jackpots. Now this is how much fame credits we earned in this time. And again, this is with auto respec and satchel, and then fame credits per hour, which is then fame per hour, you double that number. Because the lowest conversion rate is into weapons at a 1-to-2 ratio. 1 fame credit is 2 fame at the lowest ratio. Anyway, thank you so much. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Click the video on the right side of your screen. And if you do, you'll be blessed with luck. Yeah.